My wife is actually terminally ill and she has to attend outpatients. So I telephoned for an ambulance car because obviously I cannot drive and she cannot drive. Then I asked if I could travel with my wife, and the operator asked me the question, do you have any illnesses or disabilities yourself? And I explained that I'm registered blind, in fact I'm totally blind, and I was told that I would not be allowed to travel in the car with my wife because of insurance purposes. Now to me that is discrimination. My wife, she was going for a very scary experience, and she has anxiety anyway because of problems with her breathing. And although I argued the point with the operator to say, you're being discriminatory and I'm entitled to travel with my wife, they were dogmatic, right, and they weren't willing to bend. So if the operators, just use a bit of common sense and a bit of human understanding to people's situations, even if it means asking perhaps what people may consider to be intrusive questions, that's fine. I'm sure most people in that circumstance wouldn't have any great objections. I wanted to ensure that my wife was reassured going to that appointment, which consequently came up with a bad result. So basically she had no support. As good as the ambulance volunteer drivers are, they're very willing, but it's not the same support. So basically just a bit of common sense and understanding on that one.
My experience is that a couple of months ago, I had to go to the Royal Grant because I had an eye infection. I ran up and over for the hospital transport, saying I had to use the wheelchair and what time my appointment is. When I suggested that I got to take my mum as a support, and they said I wasn't allowed to take my mum because there wasn't enough seats on the hospital transport. But my mum needs to come with me because I need to have support, with the bathroom situation. I can't do that because I need help. Now, my mum and I haven't got transport, so we've been using hospital transport for many years, and we haven't had that predicament before. So, in order for that, they said that my mum had to make her own way there. She wanted me to get a taxi, which no respect to taxi. The taxi brilliant, but I had to pay £70. That comes out of my benefit money. Now that £70 is vital to me. I'm out of pocket. I had the money from the post office, and I've been struggling from there on. My mum, she's 85, and no respect to my mum, she's lovely, but she don't like the waiting times. I remember I went to Cardiff, it was going back last year it was. My appointment finished about 2:30. We were there till 6 o'clock. I just feel that I want hospital transport. I want it, but my mum don't want it. And it's like I'm in a dilemma.
My experience of using the hospital transport was a year ago when I had to get to an appointment to sort out a new manual wheelchair. I had to ring a week before the appointment. I said what it was for. I told them that I was in a wheelchair and that I could transfer if they needed me to. Then he kind of asked me whether I could walk, and I said no, and then he got into this whole debate. Well, he said, you don't actually need the wheelchair then, do you? Because you just told me you can transfer. I said, yeah, I can transfer, but I prefer to stay in my wheelchair to make it easier for me. I did go on the hospital transport, but it's the way he put the points across that you're not in a wheelchair, so we're just assuming that you can walk. And I just turned around and went, no, I can't walk. It's the communication, because I thought I put it perfectly clear that I was in a wheelchair, because otherwise I wouldn't have needed the wheelchair service for this appointment. I love being independent, but that did shake my confidence a bit when I'm thinking, well, if that conversation didn't go right, then how am I going to feel if the next time I have to go and be sorted for a new power chair or something.
And we've had a number of people talk to us about problems that they've had getting home and getting an ambulance at all. One lady couldn't get home again because she went to the loo and the ambulance went without her. The people there told the ambulance driver that she was in the loo and she'd be there soon, and he went anyway. He had to go home. He had to go. And then the her carer, who was her son and daughter-in-law, were left with the problem of getting her home. And she was in a wheelchair. She couldn't get into the car. They couldn't get her in. And he's disabled, pretty disabled as well. And that was a nightmare for them, absolute nightmare. They didn't know how they were going to get her home. So what seems to be happening is that for people in their mid-90s, there's no account seems to be taken how very frail many of these people are, and their relatives are likely to be seriously elderly as well. I suppose it's partly training that people driving ambulances and hospital staff and homes as well, looking after people who are very elderly, need more information about disability, whether it's mental disability or physical disability. They need more information to know how to handle it properly with minimum of trauma for the patient and the relatives.